What's going on? We're going to be talking about the era of the king. Are you ready for the era of the king? What do I mean by that? So basically, the Queen of England is getting old. I think she's in her 90s, and she is pretty much showing signs that she is aging out of her position as basically the ruler of the United Kingdom in all of its different subjects or countries under its tutelage or whatever. She's pretty much aging out. She is probably, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 10 years. She will probably make her transition. And the next up to the throne is her son, Prince Charles. He's already, I believe, either in his 60s, I believe. He's pretty old. So he would basically be anywhere between 60 to 70 years old by the time he even reaches the throne. And then basically, who knows how long he is going to, basically ascend to the throne and also maintain the throne. He is pretty much preceded by his son, Prince William. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. London is the capital of the markets of the world. It is what it is. They're under basically a monarchy. It's a modern monarchy. It's not like the monarchy probably you would think like 500-600 years ago, where it was absolute authority and control. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of control, a lot of quiet control. The UK is under a parliament. A parliament is pretty much a government that is usually associated with a monarchy. Okay, UK is under a monarchy. Some will even say that that monarchy's influence spreads to the United States. I've even heard tinfoil hat talk to the point where the UK kind of controls the United States. I mean, I'm not going there, but it's very much a strong influence. A lot of people don't know Canada pretty much is controlled under the UK. Basically, it's part of the British Crown. A lot of people don't know that. Because, see, a lot of people don't understand history. A lot of people, they talk about, who slept with who ain't sleeping with who, and just basically, I would amount to is talk, herd talk. People that just talk about a lot of things that are just very, very much basic, right? So a lot of people, they don't study history, which is one of the main important things you could study in anything, even if you're into stocks, bonds, funds, index funds. I mean, it's very, very much you want to look at the history of part that should be part of your analysis when you're researching anything. History a lot of times repeats itself. A lot of times people, even before they make a move, they look back at historical footnotes of how to influence their current decision, because history repeats itself. History is bound to repeat itself. So the last, let's say, 80 years, about 80 years, there's been Queen Elizabeth II under the throne of England after her father died. After her father died, and I think a little bit before or a little bit after World War II, her father passed away. Her father Let's see. I forgot what her father's name was. He was a king, obviously. He was the last queen, the king of England. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I was in the midst of a call because I'm trying to get another position myself, but it's not to be the king of England. Uh, but um, yeah. So yeah, her dad, Queen Elizabeth II, her dad was King George the sixth. Okay, so he was the last king technically of England, of the United Kingdom, because you got the United Kingdom is basically different kingdoms within from England to, you got Wales, you got Scotland, and then also Ireland, which they've been battling for like the last at least 500 years, if not further. Because that's one of the things, if you go to Ireland, I've never been, but one thing I do notice about Ireland is Ireland has a bunch of abandoned castles and busted up castles, like damaged damaged castles beyond repair, like that, where it's just basically this stood a castle, because basically they've been man, they had been warring. They still have skirmishes. They have pipe bombs. I mean, basically the I think they called the IRA. They go again. They pretty much still war with England, and but they're still under their protectorate of the United Kingdom. They're under basically British rule. So yeah. Um and basically, man, this is gonna be a major kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, London is the capital of financial markets in the world. If you talking about, you want to be, let's just say some people talk about they want to be a mega billionaire or a millionaire, mega millionaire, right? You better know about New York, you better know about London, you better know about Hong Kong, China, India, Japan, right? And really Dubai, or even Saudi Arabia, because those are the financial capitals, right? I mean, people don't want to talk about Africa. We definitely gonna talk about Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because this is gonna be kind of tripped out. It's gonna be like somewhat of a paradigm shift once she actually, my opinion, she gonna go out just like her grandma, which is Queen Victoria, which a lot of people they don't know. I mean, the black bloodline in the European monarchies pretty much is all throughout. All a lot of the whitewashing in history is to paint a narrative, and it really affects a lot of like racist white people in the world as well as in the United States, because they're taught the same lies that we were taught in school, that Europe was all white and all right. No, it was Africa. If you see the proximity of Africa, just the proximity of Africa to Europe, that lets you know right there this is close. And then they were trading partners, as well as you had Africans that came across the sea, right? And they settled into Europe. and ruled Europe for a period of 700 to 1,000 years. It was a strong African influence in Europe, in Italy, in Sicily. Basically, the Africans, before it even was called Africa, was in Europe. Okay. It's even strong DNA evidence. If you want to go back to the Grimaldi man, you want to go back to the Eastern Island. See, see, this the thing where I really don't I really don't have a problem with racist white people, because basically I just school them on their history that they either don't know or surprised to know, and I come with a level of authority to where I can basically counter anything, and they basically warm up to me, because in most cases, because they don't know, they've been taught the same lies that we were taught in school, that and then Hollywood, they basically enforce those lies through the media, and they play all of these actors in these old, European movies back to the medieval times. It was just all these white people, and they was born with this the kingdom, and all of these lies, which basically Europe it was just like it was now, if not even more diverse. It was people coming all over the world traveling through Europe. The Europeans definitely wanted these people to travel because they needed stuff. Europe was a cold climate. Okay, it was very, very cold. It's still cold to this day. It's a lot of like hardcore stuff that a lot of people don't know about Europe. It kind of seeps into certain movies, like for example, Game of Thrones. If you uh watch the Game of Thrones, the demonic figure that's like the Iceman, that they basically sacrifice a baby uh every period of time, so the freaking Iceman doesn't attack them. Like, to a certain extent, there is a very much period of cannibalism in Europe, because it's a cold climate. It was very much um a cold climate. What's going on? The Vito. I never could really probably pronounce your name. Oh yeah, man. Last time I was schooling some white folks, man. I was in a bar deep in Indiana. Man, this dude was a millionaire, man. He was ready to give me like 30,000, man, to trade some stocks, and I was like, nah, I didn't take it, because I still researching on how you could become a private trader. But yeah, Sir Anthony, man, if I'm reaching you, if you coming down from the clouds, I'm hitting it hard, huh? I'm hitting some points, man. I must be in the right barometer as far as things, if I got you coming from the clouds. Salute to you as well. Oh, Dave Tao. Now I understand what you're talking about. I definitely understand Tao. Yeah. So yeah, you gotta understand, just even going back anywhere between hundreds centuries ago to millennia ago, Europe was this cold, desolate climate as it is today, if not even colder, right? They had to survive. They had to survive, right? And it was periods of time where, like I say, at the worst, they had to resort to cannibalism. Okay. Um, a lot of times because of I just, be so bogged down with things. I'm not able to do the videos that I want to do to talk to you about, the older societies. Okay. Going back from basically hunter gatherer days to basically the agrarian age, or just basically where people grew crops and had animals and livestock. Well, the kingdoms came after that because um they had basically, it was just whoever had the strongest horses, the sharpest axes, knives, spears, they just basically waited to the crops got, tall enough, and they just came in and killed the men and probably spared the women. Some of them probably killed the women too. And they would just take over the area and the crops. So a lot of times that was really how a lot of kingdoms got started. It was just basically whoever was last alive after they took over the land, because it was cutthroat. See that it even explain. See, this is another thing. You don't understand the behavior. You be thinking like people be like not understanding why are these white folks so cutthroat? Because they had to be. It had they thousands of years of having to be cutthroat, like to survive the cold climate, to survive being eaten alive, possibly, because basically it was a cold climate. It was very, very cold. The seasons were very short. It had to grow crops. So going back to the diversity of Europe, they had to they was happy to see somebody that was, let's just say, not a pale face. They were happy. I mean, they were like freaking on their knees, like, thank you for coming and bringing us this, rare grain that's thousands of miles away. Bringing some livestock, because basically after the kingdom settled, after they, basically settled things out, and the last kingdom left, right? They needed trading partners from other lands far away. They would send people all, thousands of miles away to Africa, to Asia, to trade so they can get, basically food, because they were in this land, Europa or Eurasia before that. Basically Europa is a was a female goddess. That's some research to look into. And they needed these basically provisions to survive this desolate climate. They needed these people to come and bring knowledge, to bring food, to bring livestock from far and wide, and trade, to basically survive. So to paint a narrative as if it was just everybody was in Europe and they were white, right? That they had nobody else around that was in the kingdom. They were all white, just having a good old boy time. It's lies. It's a pack of lies. Now, I admit a lot of movies that I do see a few more non-pale faces in the movies. Okay, they're trying, right? But very much so, the actual pictures, the old ancient pictures tell the story of something totally different. It tells the story of basically a different narrative, that what we see today. It tells the story of African kings, African queens, and also everywhere in between the British monarchy, because basically not even the British monarchy, the European monarchy system is basically you have people below, the serfs, the peasants, and then high above, of course, the king, the queen, um, and very much black faces and other, indigenous people of other countries. They were in Europe. It was just like basically what you see Europe is today, but even less as far as white people that you might think of. It'll blow your mind if you actually saw the paintings and saw these people in Europe just walking around, just even being noblemen, rulers. It'll just blow your mind. It'll be almost therapy, because what you will see is a different narrative than what is told and what is projected, because it's basically just indoctrination. It's the basis of it is to paint a narrative of lies, to make a fairy pretend world to the masses, to just basically to construct some type of narrative to pretend as if you were almighty and you had no help, you had no other people other than you and your friends and your family and your communities that just look just like you. And it was totally different. It was not the case. It was very much a situation where even if you go back to the 1500s, I mean, before the Spanish Inquisition was basically, you had the Spanish and the Portuguese and the French kick these Arabs out, kick these Africans out, which was called the Moors, and kicked them back down to Africa. They kicked them out. They kicked a lot of Jewish people out of Spain and Portugal because they helped the Muslims. They helped the Moors, basically, in a lot of cases, because the cultures. See, this is another thing. People don't understand religion. They don't understand the origins and history of religion. And it's like, yeah, I mean, Judaism and Islam is very similar to a certain degree. Like, for example, if you are a practicing Muslim, you can eat kosher food. Now, I don't know if Jews can eat, like, quote unquote halal food. I don't know about that. But this goes back, 500, 600, 700 years, 800 years of basically the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his rise. And basically from that time, they basically moved upward to Europe. They moved up to Europe. They moved into Africa. And yes, slavery was part of that process, or that rise. And it wasn't just Arabs, okay, or Berbers. It was Africans. It was very very much people that were different shades, from dark to light to almost, as far as a modern day quote unquote white person. And the funny thing about that is, like, a lot of times I hear white people say, oh, they don't like these Muslims or whatever like that. Well, the thing about it that's funny to me, because I never forget when I was like 18 years old. I was in junior college, and some dude was like, he told me something. I don't know who it was that told me this, but he said that the Prophet Muhammad was white. had pretty much white features. And I was like, well, what? Because I didn't know. I didn't know. And basically, the older I got and the more I researched it, that very much was a fact, right? And the fact of the matter where I find it hilarious is Jesus, quote unquote, peace be upon him, was actually a black man, right? Now they just like they paint the picture of the narrative that Europe was all white and everybody was all right. They do the same thing with religion and also Jesus Christ, right? So the thing is that you also see the artistic representations going back, centuries ago, and they actually show, like I'll never forget, I was in San Diego. One of the weirdest things about being in San Diego, and kind of pretty much when I was in the Navy, I went to a cultural festival, right? It was primarily, I think it was an international cultural festival. Well, one of the things I saw there was a picture of the Black Madonna, basically. And this is something that, that you could still see to this day, right? I don't know where that picture is. There's definitely other representations of that throughout the world. But what you see is a Black Madonna and a Black Jesus. And from that, basically, that shows you right there. So you have a religion that you hate, quote unquote, black people, and you're worshiping a black man. So the closest that religion that would support those racist ideologies would be, quote unquote, technically Islam, or following the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That would be closest to your narrative, as far as what makes sense, in my opinion, in my mind. Because it's like, okay, yeah, so you worshiping a dude that is quote unquote black, but you hate blacks. It's kind of weird. I'm just saying. But all of that aside, that those historical evidence, you could definitely, my comment section is alive. Um, you can go back and forth with me. It's all good. But everything I said was pretty much true, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you take it. So let me see here. Uh, they quiet or laugh. That's how you know I respect it. Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. Women do that a lot. Women do that quite a bit. Yep, yep, yep. Oh yeah. Oh, don't even talk about ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Oh man. Oh man. Don't that actual that's a bomb drop in itself. That's just even say that. I mean, hold on, man. Let me pull the archives. I mean, I should have had this open already, man. But man, the origins of ancient Greece, right? The story of Romulus and Remus. And it's also the origins of ancient Greece is the actual the start of the Roman Empire, because basically this this particular, you know um ancient kingdom begat that ancient kingdom and begat that ancient kingdom, and so on and so forth. That's basically, that's how that works. So when you go to the story of Romulus and Remus, you look up that story, right? which is the origins, or whether it be mythology or actually be true. You research the origins of the Greco-Roman, basically history. But when you go even go into the surface of the first Romans, right? Right. See, this is why I'm bougie, man. That's why I'm bougie. Like some people bougie because they got on Gucci, or they wearing Gucci. They hopping into a Model X. I mean, yeah, that's fine. But I'm Gucci. I mean, I'm bougie because yeah, I'm Gucci too. But I'm bougie because of what I know. That's why I'm so god doggone bougie, man. It's because of what I fucking know. I mean, like when I move in my energy is a motherfucker that knows. Okay, I mean sometimes yeah, I have brain fog and all kind of other shit, but at the end of the day, I know a lot about history. My history understanding is that above a PhD as far as my understandings of history. I mean, like I know quite a bit about history going back at the very least. I want to say as far back as 10,000 years. I mean, it's like that alone. When I move, like most people they really don't understand history, and they don't understand the lies that basically history has been told. So one of the just going back to Rome, one of the starts and whoever influenced the Roman Empire as far as what you think in your head because of some movies that were told by basically a bunch of racists, a bunch of liars, you would think something that is not true. So I'm going to show you who is the father or fathers of the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire. This is your daddy. This is your granddaddy right here. The Etruscans. Yeah, meet your grandpa. This is your grandpa. Whoever this guy is. This is your granddaddy. It says this is from 4th century BCE. This your other this your uncle. This is from 3rd century BCE. See, this is why I'm bougie as fuck. This is why I don't got no problem. I ain't got no problem, man. I definitely I don't got no problem wearing Gucci or none of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm honoring my ancestors, the children of my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, yeah, we all related. The great replacement, it already happened. It was millions of years ago. It already happened. The Neanderthals bred with the Homo sapiens. Okay. It already happened. Great replacement is something that already been done millions of years ago, you idiots. So yeah, this is beautiful right here. This is very, very beautiful. I don't know what they made this with, but this is gorgeous right here. Okay. And this is the basically the starters of the Roman Empire as we know, the Etruscans. Okay. So I'm gonna show another slide. It's a dude that he goes around and he does that. Like he goes around and takes clan outfits from people because he trains them, he shows them about the lies that they've been told and shit like that. He talks to them, even just on a personal level. He actually goes around and collects people's clan outfits because he basically unradicalizes them. I mean, basically, I hope someone I can unradicalize by this live stream. Because I ain't gonna lie, before I knew anything, I was kind of radicalized. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, shit, my mom, she set me down at 5 years old and showed me roots. But then I set her down in her 50s, and then I put on documentaries, basically on the Moors in Europe. I showed her what was going on as far as like post, I mean, not post, but before the transatlantic slave trade. I showed her what a lot of black people are indoctrinated to believe slavery, 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 transatlantic slavery, slavery, slavery. That's what we're trained to think. So that's all of the talk is about 400, 500 years of slavery in America. But they don't tell you stuff like I'll tell you. They don't push the narrative of how black people in this country also had slaves. And no, it wasn't because they were trying to free their grandma and their grandpa or their sister or their brother. They were trying to make just as much money off of them as their other contemporaries who were, basically white was trying to do. They was trying to make as much money as they can, as much capital as they can. This is just a reminder that basically everybody ain't your brother. Everybody, what I'm saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That basically that's the 300-400-year-old version of that. And the thing about it is we also had Europeans as slaves in Africa. Why you think the northern part of Africa is mostly like basically Caucasian Arabs? It's because basically of wars, and the modern day Arab is a combination of European blood, Asian blood, and African blood. That is an Arab. That's how you create an Arab. Mix a bunch of combination of Eurasian DNA with African DNA. That is an Arab. And then you have the intertribal wars in Africa. That's why you have the look of the northern Africans. They don't really necessarily call themselves African. They primarily look at themselves as Arabians because that's where their homeland is. That's where their base is. But then we could go off into the Axum Empire and talk about how the Africans ruled the entire Saudi Arabia, the entire Arabian Peninsula for a period of time. We could talk about that. That a lot of people don't even know about. We could definitely talk about that. I never forget when I walked into it was a Eritrean restaurant, I believe, in the north side of Chicago. I saw the origins of India or in the Indian people, and definitely the origins of Arabian people in the faces of them people when I walked in. When I walked into that restaurant, I was I was shocked. Like I was just like my eyeballs was about to pop outside my head because I saw basically the origin of the people of India as well as Arabians in those people. That's why they attack so hard. That's why man, it they center around those people. They center around basically the Horn of Africa is one of the hot spots in the world because basically those are the basically the places and the kingdoms of those are the people of ancient Egypt, ancient Arabia, the Persians, even the ancient Persians. Those people are that they trying to literally just basically, you know, give them all the hell in the world in that particular area. But I'll digress back, right? I'll digress back. But I'm gonna show you another slide, and this is of the Etruscans, another footnote of the Etruscans, and this is the fathers of the Roman Empire, ancient Roman Empire. First Romans were actually black people. Hold on, I'll be back. Yeah, man. Sorry about that again. I'm gonna chop this up. I'm gonna edit this when I get done. But yeah. So this is the history of the Etruscans right here, and then I'm gonna digress. Also, I mean, actually, I'm gonna go further and to say this is why like people need to like okay to a certain it goes into the boule. This goes into the Black Greek organizations. Okay, this is why this is not like you should never be ashamed to be a Black Greek. Like, I mean, you don't understand. Like, this was the people that talk about like, okay, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, I mean, they use Black elites to keep other people oppressed or whatever, right? I do agree with that, right? But that's the play, right? But the thing is, as far as actually being a Black Greek, first Greeks were Black. So why would anything be a problem with being a Black Greek and a Black Greek to be part of a Black Greek organization? Why would that be any issue? That's the problem of Black people as far as they don't understand, they don't have the proper education. They have not self-educated themselves. They indoctrinated into basketball wives and whatever bullshit they were indoctrinated with, other than a fucking book or researching about something other than who had sex with John and Jill. So the thing about it is, going back to the Etruscans, first Romans were actually Black people. This is a picture of an Etruscan, basically looked like a knight, and this is from 6th century to 5th century BC. Okay, and I'll read this a little bit. Basically, the Etruscan people populated a large region in what is now Tuscany and Lombardy in Italy. But they're probably not what you picture in your head when you think of Italians. Don't lie, it was the Super Mario Brothers, right? Strong evidence suggests that the Etruscans were dark-skinned people who traveled from Africa to settle parts of Europe. Not only did the Etruscans settlement predate ancient Roman and Greek civilizations. Okay, so they actually were the father of not just Roman civilization, actual Greek and Roman civilizations. Okay, the Etruscans. This picture. See, this is why I'm bougie. It's because of what I know. See, like a picture like this, all you got to do is print it out, put it in a picture frame, and when somebody coming to your house, they understand you ain't that dude. You know your history, and then it also looks very good. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I know that I move and shake with. You know what I'm saying? This is you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Dave Towle, right? Because basically, yeah, this is what you see right here. Is this is your grandpappy, right? It's your grandpappy. So yeah, that's that. Stop screen sharing. Um, okay, okay. You dropping some science, right? Right. Oh, okay. You must be in college or something, or grad school. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, Dave Towle. Um, let's go back to uh basically the topic, which I never left. right? Are you ready for the era of the king? Okay. Are you ready for the era of the king? Like I say, Queen Elizabeth II, she's probably going to go out just like her grandma. She is going to age out, probably, I would say, in probably in her, basically on a bed, in hospice. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna go out strong. I mean, that's just something that she probably was trained to do, because a lot of times a lot of people don't understand the training that is involved. That she was, I watched the Netflix show, I think it's The Crown, right? It kind of goes into a little bit of what went on as far as her upbringing and whatnot like that. Now I know a lot of people are like, what you must be a king, supreme coon. I done laid out everything that I told you about, basically what you think that you know about Europe, and what you need to know. The thing about it is, she pretty much is the ruler of the financial capital of the world. You gotta, one of the things, even if you look at somebody that you don't like, you don't hate, or whatever, or you hate, or whatever, you gotta respect the power that they have. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm in America. you know, the origins of America is that they went to war with the British Empire. They literally they went to war with the British Empire. This is our old enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they done made reconcile or recompense, right? But these people, man, they clashed. A lot of them went to Canada, right? A lot of people don't even understand. Okay, why so many black people in Canada? There's two ways, two things why so many black people in Canada. Shout out to all my black people in Canada and Drake. that's that's pretty much running the rap game in America. Is on top, right? Drake. The reason why it's black people in Canada is because of two things. There's a few things, but I'll just say two. It's because um in the in the in during the transatlantic slave trade, or while slavery was going on, if you could get up north into Canada, basically the underground railroad, you could go into Canada and you could live your life. I ain't gonna say it was an easy life, okay, but you could live your life, quote unquote, as a free woman or man, whatever that consisted of during that time. You were not necessarily subjected to slavery. I'm not gonna say it was easy, because sometimes you gotta use you gotta go into the history in your mind. You gotta go into your mind and just think, like, just it wasn't sweet when it got to Canada, but it was probably better than being in the South under the chain and whip, and all of the torturous activities of basically the slavery in the U.S., right? So they could actually escape and go to Canada and have some type of a better life, right? Then what people don't know is that during, and they talk about this. This is I think this show is on AMC. I think it was on, I want to say, Amazon Prime, I believe. And it kind of goes into, I can't think of the name of the show, but it goes into the history of basically the Revolutionary War. The guy was basically a spy for the colonies, and it goes into what kind of went on in the war, right, of the Revolutionary War. And that's interesting. Like, a lot of people don't even understand what went on in the Revolutionary War, and they definitely didn't understand really what went on in the Civil War. But I would say most people kind of understand what went on in the Civil War to a surface level. But the Revolutionary War, where basically one of the things that the British Army used to do, um, they used to basically recruit black slaves, because you got to think that they had to have people, manpower, and one of their strategies was to recruit black slaves in America and offer them freedom by basically they would offer them freedom if they fought for the British. If they fought for the king, um, that king actually, I believe, is also, I think that king under I think that was King George as well. But um, yeah, like basically, if they fought for the British, they would basically be granted freedom. So a lot of people took on that offer. Like they were like, okay, we'll we'll fight for you, and then of course they would get money, and then provisions for fighting, and then a gun, of course, and they would take that offer. And after the war was over, the British basically granted them that freedom, and they went to Canada, um, and wherever else they were able to go, and they were no longer slaves. So that's why you have black people in Canada. A lot of people don't know that, but I do, because I did the research. So yeah, basically this is going to be an interesting situation. Okay, we basically we don't know how long this woman is going to be alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's definitely showing signs that she cannot no longer give public speeches, public appearances, right? And one of the reasons why I think that she's going to go out just like her grandma, Queen Victoria, is because that's the most honorable thing, to go out like a soldier, to go out, basically do, basically what I'm saying is I don't think she's going to abdicate. What abdicate means is basically just hand over her throne to, while she's alive, to someone else, right? So I don't think she's going to do that. I think she's going to go out basically like her grandma, Queen Victoria. So how long that's going to take, I don't know. But here's the other thing. She is also, like I say, London is the capital of yeah, the financial markets of the world, right? But she also, in my opinion, is the queen of the gynocracy. She is, in my opinion, a lot of people don't talk about this shit, but you know, I got a big brain. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time I just be thinking, like, it's one of the things about, I don't know. I'm sure it's not just me, but yeah, like, she's also, in my opinion, this is my opinion, she is pretty much the queen of the gynocracy. Okay. She is the figurehead of the gynocracy. Okay. And she's been such in the last like I say, since she's been in power. She ascended to the throne. Let's see what she said, what it says here. In 1953. Okay. She ascended in actually 1952. Another thing is that her she wasn't the first pick. A lot of people don't know that her brother was actually, or I think her uncle was picked after her father was died, but he chose to basically give up his royal powers and be a commoner so he can marry his commoner wife. So he actually basically could have been the king. It could have been another, king, but he chose to, like I say, just be a commoner, and it was very much an embarrassment to the crown, right? The British crown, right? And they kind of had to recover from that because it was very much an embarrassment. Um, and the thing is that from that they passed that down to the Queen of England now, which is Elizabeth II. And she was the last queen since Elizabeth I, which kind of had, it was a different story of the Elizabeth I. But one thing about Elizabeth I and her is that they both are also, like I say, this is why she is I believe, in my opinion, the queen of the gynocracy, and also even the king, because one thing about Elizabeth II as well as the Elizabeth I, she is also a king and also a queen at the same time. Where did they get this from? Where did they get this from? Where did Europe actually, where did Europeans actually get the understanding of being a monarch or the monarchy system that dates back thousands of years ago? Where did they get this system from? So I'll tell you where they got the idea of a queen actually being also a king at the same time. And basically this is another thing. This is where the UK gets its powers from. It is also even said. So I used to sell documentaries. I used to, for this whole quote unquote red pill. I wasn't red pill because I was trying to get pussy. I was red pill actually. I woke into the truth and the knowledge way back, way back. Like I want to say probably 2006, 2007. One of the guys that awakened me, he was a IT guy like myself, and he was also a Mason at the time. He asked me if I wanted to become a Mason. I mean, I was like, nah, but I mean, whatever. I don't know how that would have went, but to a certain degree, I was in the Navy, so a lot of the customs and everything like that, I already pretty much was, you know, tomato tomato. So let me put up to where they got the idea of actually a queen actually being also a queen, king at the same time. This is this is Queen Hatshepsut, 1458 BC, before Christ. So basically, her predecessor, her husband Tutmos II died, and she basically took throne. She became a queen and also a king at the same time. So the thing is that this ain't new. This whole this whole well, all this, you don't know your history. You don't know your history. That's the problem. You fools you are idiots. I want you to let that sink in. And the thing about it is, like I say, UK. Okay, so the thing is, they tell you, that these pharaohs was these evil people that were worshiping demigods and blah 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 blah, and you believe that shit all the while. They running a whole fucking planet using their customs, their knowledge and traditions. And then y'all pork chop eating, goddamn it, mayonnaise sandwich motherfuckers talking about hoteps, these hoteps, these hoteps. You are fucking idiots, morons. You don't have a fucking clue. A ham sandwich away from having a heart attack, talking about hoteps. And then I'm gonna show you another one. Show you another one. This fresh off the presses. Are you gonna get that education lesson today, buddy? You gonna get that shit. You gonna get that work today. Don't get it twisted. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you that work. Like I said, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you why you don't like me. Why I'm so bougie. It's what I know. Ain't what because I got, and I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit, but it's because of what I know. See, I could move in elite class like nothing because I know more than them in most cases. I'm more educated than them. So this is also, because basically you had Egypt and you also had Nubia. Black people have been fighting for long periods of time, and we've been also, collectively, helping each other at the same time too. Been connected for the same time too. However you wanna talk about it. The whole colorism debate, it's been going over 10,000 thousands of years, right? The Nubians primarily were dark skinned. The Egyptians were dark skinned and brown, or quote unquote brown skin, or lighter skin, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this is a Nubian queen that also had the powers of a king. Oh, these dudes don't like, they're misogynists. They're misogynists. They hate women. Fucking idiots. So this is Nubian Queen Shana Kadate. or some shit like that. Shikandikati, something like that, man. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I did best effort. So this is basically one of the queens that ruled without a king in ancient Nubia from 170 to 150 BC. Okay, this is where they got this from. This is where they got this from. Like Jay-Z said in what was that? Life and Times of Sean Carter. One of the hardest albums he put out. One of them. You know, basically I'll be back. Alrighty. So yeah, this is like I say, where they got that from, right? This is where they got that from. Okay. See, like it's like this, man. I want you to be bougie too, man. I want you to be. It's no absolute reason. See, like it's no absolute reason, man, that you should not know your history. Because see, like I say, class is something that you actually is free. It's not something that you got to pay for. I'm high class because of what I know. It ain't because of what I got. And it's something you can't necessarily take away from me. Yeah, you could take me out. You know, I'm a mortal person, but you can't take what I know. You know, you can't take what I know. And then what I know, you know what I'm saying, a lot of other people know. And I ain't gonna say a lot, but quite a few people know. They just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times people will they'll put this on a lecture and they'll make, speaking engagements, whatever, make a lot of money off of this. This is just something just through, I would say, 10 to 15 years of research. I stumbled upon this person because I follow a lot of quote unquote hotep groups on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just, something that I just recently discovered. Now that one, I don't know who that is. So I could close that one out. So the thing is that are you ready for the era of the king? Okay. When is that gonna be? Or has it already left? That's up to you to decide. But the thing is that also, they have tons. Like, I'll never forget when I was going to a school in Chicago, junior college in Chicago called Olive Harvey College, and basically I had to do like some research or something like that, and I discovered that it was like a whole bunch of kings, active kings and rulers in Africa. I mean, as we speak, right? It's a lot of kings and queens in Africa. Okay. One thing, man, about uh, Ike Agomie, I believe that's his name. He said he's part of Benin royal family. I mean, it's just so many kings and queens in Africa as we speak right now to this day. It's just mind boggling. Mind boggling. I mean, one of the things I remember talking to my father about was about the chiefs. Basically, a chief is just a king. He's a local king, part of a kingdom. That's what a chief is. Because I asked him about that. So, like I say, I mean, I don't know what the timeline is for this transition. I don't know what the timeline is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna be different because the last people that was alive that were, I mean, most people that were alive when King George the 6th was still on the throne, pretty much 1950, right? 1950, right? Those people are no longer here. Like my grandma is she was alive. I might have to talk to her about that. Like, what was it like, you know, um when King George was on the throne, right? What was life back then? No, but she I mean, I already kind of know. I mean, you know what was life like back in 1950 in America. Shit. You know, you know what life was like back then in 1950 in America. You already know, just off just historical footnotes. You already know. Uh, Basically, Jim Crow was hitting hard. Segregation was just that was it wasn't even it was part of it was just everyday life. Water fountains with white only and all that other stuff. You could pretty much get away with hanging black people. It was very common for black people to have a job as a maid, a servant, butler, cook. Those were the jobs. Those were, like, some people work at doing Amazon Flex or whatever. Well, the Amazon Flex in 1950 was like being a butler and a cook or a maid or a nanny. That was the Amazon Flex. But yeah, I mean, it begs the question: what would be the new leaders of the British throne? What would they be doing? I mean, would they be more aggressive? Will they be more aggressive? Will it be like, you know, will it be like some new wave of you know white supremacy? Like, what I'm saying? Will it be Will it be just like new forms of aggression? You know, I mean, will it just be business as usual, which is already really rough, right? All of the stuff that we have to deal with white male incels in the United States of America. All the stuff society has to endure with the incels in America with AR-15s. Will this be something even more aggressive, or will it just, kind of remain the same, or will it be a digression? A lot of times it's not a digression. A lot of times things actually, progress, doesn't digress, So I mean, it's going to be something that is very much interesting to think about, or to see rather. So, like, yeah, I mean, that's just a question that I'll ponder. What do you think the new era of the king will be? Are you prepared for that?
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
Fuck it. They coming here.
I'm your brother, you my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Let's walk this way.
Is that Prince for King? Come here, Prince. What's today's mathematics?
Hey, yo, no disrespect, but we ain't in all of that, son.
Build, destroy. To build is to elevate the mentalities of self and those around self. To add positive energy to every nation. To build, you must first start from the root, which is the knowledge foundation, and add on to the highest peak. To destroy is to eliminate and destroy any and all negativity that enters my cipher of supreme harmony.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Come check out owlsherbs.com, where we have all of your herbal needs and different variety of products, from sea moss to black seed oil, and a different variety of products for different health issues, because your health is your wealth.